Welcome back to our Arduino tutorial series. In this video, we are diving into the world of colors with an RGB LED. By the end of this video, you'll learn how to mix different colors using a simple Arduino setup. Let's get started. For this project, you'll need an Arduino Uno board, an RGB LED, 3 220 ohm resistors, jumper wires, and a breadboard. Here I'm using a button battery to demonstrate how to turn on a RGB LED. First, let's understand what an RGB LED is. RGB stands for red, green, and blue. An RGB LED consists of these three colored LEDs in one package. By blending these colors in different intensities, you can create a wide spectrum of colors, much like how a TV or a smartphone screen works. In this example here, I'm using a button battery to activate each one of the individual LEDs inside the RGB LED on. The RGB LED that I'm using is called common cathode, which means that the longest pin on this package is the cathode. So connect the longest pin on the RGB LED to the negative side of the button battery and any of the other shorter pins to the positive, and you'll see the colors coming out. Let's wire the RGB LED to our Arduino. First, insert the RGB LED into your breadboard. Just be mindful to make sure that each one of the pins goes into its own column. Make sure that the longest leg of the LED, which is the common cathode, is connected to a ground pin on the Arduino using a jumper wire. Next, connect each of the other legs through a 220 ohm resistor to a different digital pin on the Arduino. In this example, I'm using pins 9, 10, and 11 for red, green, and blue respectively. The resistors are crucial as they prevent too much current from passing through the LED, which could damage it. Now, let's program the Arduino to control the RGB LED. Here's a simple sketch we'll be using. We start by defining the pins. For the red, green, and blue pins, we are using pins 9, 10, and 11. In the setup function, we set up the three pins to be outputs using the pin mode function. Then we have a custom function called set color. It receives three integers, which are the values for the red, green, and blue intensities. And as you can see inside that function, we use the analog write function to write that intensity to each one of the red, green, and blue pins. Finally, we've got the loop where we rotate through the various colors that we want to set on the RGB LED. Wait for 1 second for each one just to give us enough time to see it, and then continue with the next color. So you can see in the set color function, we pass through three numbers. The maximum intensity for each one of those parameters in the custom function is 255. So in the first example here, the first line, we set color to 255.0.0, and the result of that is for our RGB LED to show red at maximum intensity. It's going to keep the green and the blue colors to 0, technically off. In the second line, we use set color to write a bright green color to the RGB LED. As you can see here, the red value is 0, the green value is maximum 255, and the blue is 0. You can experiment with intermediate values. For example, here you can see that we've set color to red 80, green 0, and blue 80, and that gives us purple. So after we upload the sketch, watch as our RGB LED cycles through the colors. By mixing red, green, and blue, we achieve colors like cyan, magenta, yellow, and more. You've just learned how to use the RGB LED with Arduino to create a beautiful array of colors. Experiment with different color combinations by adjusting the RGB values in the set color function. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell to receive notifications about our latest Arduino projects. Drop your questions and ideas in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next tutorial.